Hi, I'm John Irwin and I'm back again for another breakdown. Today I got a nice party bag full of Reese's Pieces and a sparkling grapefruit Izzy. Reese's Pieces is probably my third favorite candy, but I always like to have something sweet for this particular test. I was sort of scammed into taking this new experimental drug called Arestaclin, and they made it seem like such a good opportunity on the phone. They offered a nice, not a lot of money, but just like a few bucks, for each day of testing, and they promised that it would sort of enhance certain aspects of my life and my functioning. The side effects were a little harder to deal with than they let on. So why don't we just get started? I wanted to show you what we were starting with. This is me in a shed that we filmed, and it was interesting. All these little markers that we put on my face ended up not being useful at all. Once again, I used Andrew Kramer's Demon Face Warp tutorial. For some reason, I kept going off this this reference photo of from a Chris Cunningham commercial, and he had these dots on there, and I figured they would be useful, but they weren't. They ended up getting in the way. I actually had to go in and erase them by like cloning the skin next to it and moving it over to fill in the gaps. I'm just gonna play you a little bit of this.
Something's out there in space that regulations don't.
This is day 46 on Arestaclin. We used a wider angle lens so that everything would look a little more creepy, and I'd look a little more bulgy. Sean Barrett was filming and he was holding a flashlight the whole time. So let me show you our After Effects project file here. If you search Demon Face Warp on videocopilot.net, you'll see kind of how I did this. I basically tracked the motion of my face. What I ended up using was this area here and this area here, because it's the only thing that really moves exactly where my eyes are moving. Once you have that data applied, you can go to your main project and add effects. I duplicated the layer with all the data a bunch of times, and so these are all the same, and I made this adjustment layer and added the effects to that, and I parented this to the top layer, like in Photoshop. It's the one you see. You can see I had already added a little bit of bulge, but I wanted to add some more. So with this adjustment layer here, let's make it visible. I used Liquify. It's a plugin that's by default. It comes with After Effects. It's in Distort, Liquify. It's the bulge tool. You click that and hold in a certain position, and it enlarges different parts. Here, I'll show you. So like if I held it here, I've got a big nose, like, and that looks pretty cool too. Let's see what it looks like here. Yes. Once I added that to this layer, since it's parented to the 11 layer here with the tracking data, it follows me wherever I go. Pretty cool. The only problem is, since I blink, let me see if I can find a good blink here. You'll notice that when I blink, the effect would be ruined, because as soon as I blink, this whole thing would be bulged, and it would look kind of warped and fake. So every time I blink, I had to add a mask that basically showed my original eyelid as it goes down. And it's definitely not perfect. I could have spent a lot more hours, like kind of going in and making a sort of a less warped version of my eyelid, but I decided to do it this way. It was quick and easy, and it goes fast enough that you can barely tell. When I move around, sometimes I had to adjust it slightly, and you can see this distortion mesh offset. I basically had to make keyframes for distortion mesh offset. See these little keyframes right here? So for instance, if I'm here, this might have been like over here. You can see up here. And I basically had to go frame by frame and be like, oh, let's move it back to my pupil, because that's where it looks cool. That part of it was kind of tedious. So, but was it worth it? I don't know. What do you think? So Let me just show you some more stuff here. These here are null objects, and they all have different tracking data. And what they're all used for is to get rid of the little tracking marks that I put on. So if you were to do this, don't use tracking markers and you don't have to mess with this stuff. I basically had to track different areas of my face so that the skin that I used to paint underneath would follow the data. It's awful. This right here, I added some bloody skin texture. You can see I parented it to right cheek null object, which is basically I tracked the motion here, so as I move, the bloody skin kind of follows me, and I think it kind of adds a creepy vibe. Where I got this was an image online. It was a skin graph. I had a lot of fun looking for nasty wart images, and this one came up. Oh, that is just yummy. I would just love to cut a piece of that out and put it on my face. So I did. And I made it an overlay. Kind of played with these different ones until it looked like I wanted it to. This mask that I put on it, I added a big feather on it. You can see, if you watch it, you can see that if I turn the feather all the way down, it's a bit harsh. So the feather kind of helps soften it up. Let's see what else I added here. Optical flare, which is also Andrew Kramer made on videocopilot.net. This was just one of the flares I added on the left side. I figured I wanted to make this look sort of like a webcam that's in the not so distant future, so I added this vignette that basically blurs the edges, just to bring the focus more towards me. And I added this last adjustment layer, which is full of grain, to cover up some of my mistakes that you guys now know. And also, it's cool to add a little grain, you know, not everything in the future is perfectly made, and there's not great reception in this this hole in the ground that I'm currently in, so decided to add some grain. Well, I hope that was informative. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do. I will see you next time. Thanks.